a blast, all like tires. Look, it's a surprise, don't deny us.
Hello beautiful people, welcome back to another life-changing, life-altering installment of Tea Time with Ayek. My name is Ayek and you're more than welcome to this channel. We don't always drink tea, but honey, we spill the tea, and today we're spilling some tea that's gonna shake some tables, but I'm a table shaker. Do you get? So it's all gonna work out. If it's your first time joining me, thank you so much for joining. If it's your millionth time or 10th time or 5th time, thank you so much for joining us again. So, disclaimer before we even get into this video, 2 disclaimers. First and foremost, everything I'm telling you, take it with a grain of salt, but take it into consideration heavily. Number 2, if you watch this and you feel like I'm pouring sand into your gari, find another line of business, respectfully. And you're gonna understand what I'm saying as you keep watching. So I want to talk about moving to Nigeria for love. I did a video a few years ago where I talked about how 5 reasons not to move to Nigeria, and I said one of them was do not go because you're looking for a husband, because you're looking for a wife. Don't move there because of that. Now I agree, or I understand the whole thing of positioning and things like that, but if that's your sole reason, I would not recommend. And this also applies to people in the category of, oh, we met on Instagram, we met on Facebook, we met on this and that. This information is for everyone, everyone in that group. Now, I'm not saying don't meet people online and move for love. I'm not saying that. And I'm also not saying that this information only applies to Nigeria, but as a Nigerian, that's where most of my information is going to come from. So if you met someone online or you have plans of meeting someone when you relocate to Nigeria, these are things you absolutely must have. I wrote a list because I want you to be prepared. I want you to have your own thing, stand on your own 2 feet, have your own thing going on, so you're not relying on your partner. First and foremost, I would say do your research. What does that mean? Do your research on the person. Do your research on the area you see yourself moving to. Now, in the case that you met someone online, do your research on the person, period. Okay, do your research on their family. We live in a collective culture, a collective society. Do your research on the family as much as you can. If you are moving to Nigeria, you haven't met anyone yet, do your research on where you see yourself moving to. If it's Lagos, find out about Lagos, find out about jobs, all of those things. Have an understanding of where you're going. Go visit first. I say this all the time in my moving back to Nigeria videos. Go visit first. Don't necessarily dive in. Spend time there. Spend extended periods of time there if you can. Spend a month. Spend 2 months. Spend 3 months if you possibly can. But visit first. Don't move. Visit first if it's within your means. The point of visiting is an opportunity for you to build your network. Physically see what you've been seeing in vlogs and things like that. There's a difference. So vlogging allows you to live vicariously, but there's also the thing of seeing things with your own eyes. So visiting will allow you to physically see those things. You meet people, you connect with people, you build your network, because that's going to help in the job search or with business initiatives or all of those things, or even development initiatives, because I know a lot of people come to Nigeria and they start foundations and things like that in their community or in their hometown. So it's a perfect opportunity for you to build your network. Definitely build a life outside of your partner. So that means, it means what it says, right? You have to make friends who are not just your partner. That's good for your mental health, that's good for your emotional health, and it's good socially as well. And it's also, quite frankly, for safety reasons. When you know other people outside of your partner, we have to be realistic in everything. You may change your mind, you may be like, oh, okay, this person is might beat me up, it's just for safety reasons. Meet other people, connect with other people, and visiting will allow you to do that, because you don't have the pressure of, oh, I need to find a job, I need to do this, I need to do that. You're going out, attending events and things like that, and you're like, okay, well, I'm going to take this person's card, I'm going to give this person my card, we're going to exchange WhatsApp information, we're going to talk on Instagram. so you can kind of hit the ground running when you get to Nigeria. Have your business idea or job sorted before you come back, okay? We hear a lot of cases of people's partners, which I'm going to get into in the red flags, but we hear a lot of cases of people's partners who tell them that they're doing something or they have a business or whatever, and when they now move, they're like, what business are you talking about? What job are you talking about? So to prevent stories that touch, have your business idea sorted, have your job sorted, and if you feel like, okay, I kind of want to be on the ground to do that, that's why the visiting and networking will help, right? Because if you're already in communication with someone about, hey, I'm moving in a few weeks, is there anything at your company, or are there any projects? I do freelance work, that kind of thing. Have that sorted before you go. We don't want stories that touch because of love, okay? One I cannot stress enough is have a bank account. See, that visit that I'm telling you about is extremely important. It's extremely crucial, okay? In that visit, I mentioned one, you're networking with people. You get an idea of the landscape, business-wise, socially-wise, economic-wise, you're getting an idea. And also, that is your time to open your bank account, okay? I know, love, oh yeah, like he or she said, don't worry, just put the money in our account. We're gonna have a joint account. Joint accounts are fine, but you need your own bank account, okay? I hope I don't have to elaborate on why. I hope I don't have to give examples on why. We have seen cases, or I personally have seen cases of people trusting their partner a lot and sending money to their accounts. Before they move to Nigeria. And basically, when they get there, it's a story of, oh, I was using it to prepare your arrival, or they closed the accounts, that whole thing. Open your own bank account. Don't rely on SendWave. And even with SendWave, you can use SendWave, but SendWave will send money to your own personal bank account. Don't rely on what you heard or what they told you. Okay, I wish I could go into more detail on why this is more important, but just open your own bank account, because I've heard some terrible stories and I don't want that for you. Okay, I don't even want that for the people that it happened to, but I definitely don't want that for you before you even go. Now, let's talk about the red flags. And again, if you feel like you've already experienced some of these red flags, do not feel bad, do not feel embarrassed. We have done a lot of stuff because of love. I just have to be honest with you. A lot of us have done things because of love. You know how love confuses us. We've done things because of love. So this is not a place or a space to feel embarrassed if you have already witnessed these red flags. But these are definitely things to consider if you're thinking about being with a person, with your partner long term, or if you're thinking about how to leave. Like, just don't be embarrassed. Don't feel bad, okay? First and foremost, if you don't have clear insight on what your partner does for a living, it's most likely because they're not doing anything for a living, or they're hustling. And sometimes even the hustling thing is because they're waiting for you to come to help them financially. So what do I mean by that? If your partner tells you, oh, I run a business. Okay, tell me more about the business. What's the Instagram page? Like, how many customers do you get on a regular basis? Click hashtags. Again, like I'm saying, do your research. If there's no clear insight on what your partner is doing for a living, now this is the thing, if that doesn't bother you, because some people have the mentality of, that's fine, we're going to build together, we're going to, we're starting this thing together, then fine, don't worry. But if you're looking to be with someone that's established and they're not telling you how they're established, that's not good. And I'm not just talking about people who seem to not have that much money. I'm also talking about people with a lot of money. Make sure that their work is clean work, that they're not, doing Yahoo business or doing other illegal things, okay? Because that's liability on you. Now, this is a big one. If they are love bombing. Now, what do I mean by love bombing? I mean, they're laying it on thick. They're laying it on thick. Baby, I love you, my everything, within like the first 2 or 3 weeks. Let's be realistic here. If you are weirded out when someone does it to you when you're in America or in the UK and stuff, why is it not weird to you when that person does it? Especially someone you may not have met. Why is that not weird to you? Do you know what I mean? It's weird to us, right? It's weird to the people who are living in the culture too. So why would that not be weird to you? A lot of times we think that we have a lot of assumptions about Nigerian culture that are purely just assumptions. They're not true, right? So a lot of times they'll say, oh, it's because Nigerian people, you know, the way they talk, blah, blah, blah. The same way you take certain compliments and things with a grain of salt, here, take it the same way too. If they're hitting you with baby, I love you within the first 2 weeks, they're narcissists. And this is just a tip for life in general. They're narcissists. I know someone that by the second day, he's texting me in Azonki, which is Hausa for I love you. And I'm like, huh? You what me? Are you okay? Like, is everything going well with you? In hindsight, yeah, he wasn't okay. Another red flag is if they have a lot of negative things to say about Nigerians of the opposite gender. How do I say this? Okay, for example, if you're talking to a person, if you're talking to a guy and he's like, you see, I don't like Nigerian women because Nigerian women, they're just this, they're just that. They're too greedy, they're too this, too that. That's why I don't like Nigerian men. I prefer this man or that man, blah, blah. Now, of course, the implications are completely different. Let's be honest here. But you get what I'm trying to say. It's a tactic, and in my experience, it is most effective when men use it on women, if that makes sense. I've seen it too many times. This is just a tip for life in general. Just like if you are the preference, that doesn't mean they're going to treat you any better. And also, it's like a self-esteem thing. And I'm saying all these things I'm saying is from experience, personal experience, or things I've witnessed, or whatever the case may be. If someone is constantly bagging on the people within that culture or their ex or whatever the case may be, it's not a good sign, okay? They're feeding to a part of you that they think is weak, that they think needs that so they can get more of what they want. Because no person who has any type of self-respect or like doesn't have ill intentions will go out of their way to like berate other people to lift you up. Do you know what I mean? Now, it's different if they're like, you know, other girls are fine, but they're not as fine as you. Other guys are fine, but they're not as fine as you, because we, you know, that's a cute little toasting or chiking technique or phrase. But if they're telling you, oh, this is why I don't even like our women, this is why I don't even like our men, they're telling you what you want to hear. And if that's what you want to hear, then fine. Again, if that's not a problem for you, then fine. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. Another red flag is if there's a rush. And this one is a touchy one. I know a lot of people are going to be like, huh? Let me explain what I mean by a rush. If they're making it seem like you have to get married, I'm not talking about dating. If they're making it seem like you have to get married as soon as possible, a lot of times people are like, oh, well, if they're saying that they only rush you if they want to come to America. Not necessarily. If they're talking about marriage within the first 2 weeks or whatever the case may be, and they're not like significantly older, like in their 40s or 50s as Nigerians, that's not a good sign. Now, this is not to say that people don't get married in 6 months or whatever the case may be. It happens, but not as common, not as frequently as you might think. Again, there are a lot of assumptions about the culture that might not be true, right? The same way that a lot of us here in America or the UK wait like a year or 2 years, to get things sorted before they get married. It's a similar idea in Nigeria now, especially with this generation, because they're like, I'm not trying to struggle, or I'm trying to get this together, or I'm trying to figure out if you're the right fit. So if they're rushing you for that marriage conversation, or rushing you to get pregnant, or rushing you to get them pregnant, that's not good. It's not good, okay? There's no rush, okay? If they're rushing you and telling you in our culture we marry quickly, and then, like I said, and they're not significantly older, yeah, it's not true. If you start getting random messages from their family members especially when you guys have first started talking or first started dating, now it's different if it's a man or a woman. Now, if you are a woman, if you're getting random text messages from your partner's family, especially if they don't tell you that they're giving your number out to family members, that's not okay, because boundaries. And to be fair, yeah, boundaries is not a thing we're familiar with in Nigerian culture. But still, now if you're a guy and you're getting random messages from her family members, that's still kind of a red flag too. But because of the patriarchal society we live in, it's very common for your girlfriend's family members to come and greet you, like send you a message to greet you, like, hey, we see you, we see what you're doing, we see you trying to get our sister, our family member off the market. But I'll take it with a grain of salt. What are the messages about? Are they just greeting you and saying, hey, how are you doing? Just wanted to introduce myself. Welcome to the family. Okay, that's cool. That's good. But if they start with, hey, how are you doing? Things are not fine, no. Things are not fine on my end. I'm struggling. Things are not easy. School fees. Then you already know. You already know the story. If they are uncomfortable with you making friends outside of them and outside of their friend circle, if they're trying to control who you're friends with, now the notion might be, oh, it's because it's for safety reasons, I'm just trying to protect you so that no one takes advantage of you. Fine. I'm going to put some links down below of people who are either returnees, they're expats, they're immigrants. You know what I mean? So if the concern is, oh, these people are going to take advantage of you because you're JJC, like you just came to the country or whatever the case may be, fine. There are groups of people who are similar to you that I will post down below. Send DMs, attend their events, all of those things. But if your partner is wary of you making friends outside of you, and not even friends of the opposite sex, most of the time, just in general, whether it's the opposite sex or the same sex, they're not okay with you making friends, that's not a good sign. I mean, isolation is a form of manipulation, whether we like it or not, Have they left the country before? And this one is gonna be, that's why I said, if you feel like I'm trying to pour sand into your gari, like, you might want to exit out of this video. Have they left the country before? Now, I'm not saying you don't give someone a chance because they've never left Nigeria, but there's less of a risk if you're with someone who's exposed, who can travel without you. Do you know what I mean? Who can get it without you? In my experience, there's just as much as you may have assumptions about them and the culture, they have assumptions about you. So it's just consider that, take that into consideration. Now, when you visit, are you staying at their house? Are you staying at a hotel most of the time? Are you paying for your outings? If they told you that they were doing something, they were getting money, running a business or whatever, how come you're paying for everything? How come you're not visiting their house? How come you're not staying with them? Even if it's a family house, how come you're not going to the family house? Now, it's completely different if you're with someone who has said, listen, I don't have anything going on. There's nothing going on with me, which I strongly do not advise being with someone who doesn't have anything going on with them, especially if they're like, and while I respect the honesty and the directness, like, listen, I'm not doing anything in life right now. I respect it. Do it at your own risk. Now, if you guys have the agreement of, I'm going to be the one working, you're going to be the one taking care of the house or taking care of our business stuff, then fine. But if that's not what you want, don't even bother. All right, guys, I hope you were able to get some tips from this. This is kind of a sober video for me because everything that I'm telling you to look out for and be prepared for is based on personal experience, based on, and by personal I mean what I've experienced or what people around me have experienced. And as much as I love love, you know, I'm a lover of love, my eye has now cleared, and I'm very much like, in everything, be as realistic as possible. I know there are a lot of amazing people who I've met on here, who watch my videos because they have plans on moving back to Nigeria. Maybe your parents were born and raised in Nigeria and they relocated, or you are maybe like 4th or 5th generation Nigerian and you want to move back, or you met someone and you know you want to start a life together. These are things to consider. You know, in no way am I trying to be a hater, but you guys are my people. I love you guys. I want the best for you guys, and this is what I strongly suggest or strongly recommend to consider and to do and to be prepared for. And I wish you all the best in your love journey or your love experience or your plans to find love. And I am hopeful that it will work out for you. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. I will see you next week. Yeah. Have a great one. Mwah. Bye.
Maria.